Welcome to the GCN Mako Report. Today we're going to do something I've always wanted to do, and that is show you how to brine a turkey. And so what we have here is our turkey. Now we've thawed it in the refrigerator for every 4 to 5 pounds it's a day. So we've done this about 3 days. So what we're going to do now is cut it open and rinse it off and get ready to brine it. So we're just going to cut open the turkey and get it prepared to rinse. So you want to just kind of be careful you don't cut into the skin, which is kind of a little trickier than I want it to be, but I did wash my hands before all this. So here is your turkey. It's lovely, it's delicious. Now, a couple things is first, before we brine it, we're going to want to rinse it off. So we're going to run cold water over it, not hot, and we're going to do a few things. We're going to remove the giblet packet. That's the gibblers right there. And a lot of people keep these. I chuck them. I hate giblets, but I can understand there. And then you just want to make sure you have nothing left in this cavity down in here. Get that all rinsed out. You don't want any surprises. And then the other area to check is this neck area. Make sure there's nothing in that cavity, which doesn't seem to be. So now I've rinsed it all down. Safety tip, this after handling poultry like that, always a good idea to just wash your hands when you're going to handle other things. Alright, now we're going to start the brine. So we're going to make our brine right now, and you're going to use about 2 gallons of cold water. You want to mix this into a non-reactive type of pan, and ultimately what we're going to do is put it in a garbage bag, but you'll see about that later. So what we do, and it's a pretty simple recipe, it is a cup of salt. And you certainly don't have to be exact on this, but you need at least a cup. Now, this is for a 10 to 12 pound turkey. It'll do, up to a 14 pound turkey. So if you have a bigger turkey, you can add more solution to this. And I posted the recipe below that'll give you those dimensions, but for a bigger turkey you're just going to add more brine and more salt. So you also are going to use a cup of packed brown sugar, and again, it's not rocket science here, you don't have to get it exact. So that is all in, and what you're going to want to do from here is mix this in so it's completely dissolved. So once this solution is completely dissolved, what we're going to do now is pour this into the turkey trash bag concoction we're going to make. So it's going to be cool. Just a side note, if you have a big turkey, so for every gallon of water that you're going to add more to your turkey into the trash bag, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, you're going to want to put in a half a cup of salt and a half a cup of brown sugar. So for every gallon of water, half a cup brown sugar and salt. So now we're going to go ahead and get our turkey in its trash bag. So what we use here is a standalone cooler. I like this one because it sits upright and it holds the turkey upright. You can use any type of cooler you want, but it's pertinent you put it in a cooler. If you live in a colder temperature area like I do, where it gets cold at night, almost freezing, we just leave it outside. If you're in a warmer area, well, you're going to have to find somewhere where it's you can keep it refrigerated. So what I do is I get 2 trash bags and I line the inside of this. So it's very important that you use 2 just to have a secure layer for your turkey so it doesn't bust out. Then when you're ready, you just simply slide your turkey right in there, like so. Get the bag all ready. So your turkey's in there, and then you just dump your brine solution right on top. So now we've dumped all of our brine solution on top of our turkey. And as you can see, it's not quite filled with water. We're going to fill that up with extra water till the turkey floats. But before we do that, we want to add the rest of the ingredients. The rest of the ingredients, what we have are 2 lemons, 2 oranges, some thyme, some rosemary, and a good knife. Of course, a sharp knife is the best knife. So we've sharpened that a little bit more than before. You're going to leave these oranges and lemons in there, so you want to remove any peels and probably rinse them before you cut into them. So we're going to do that now. And we're back. We're going to then go ahead and quarter these. And so you want to basically quarter each lemon and quarter each orange. So you do that for all the lemons and all the oranges, and then you want to take all of them, all of your quartered oranges, all of your quartered lemons, and throw them in the brine. But before you throw them in the brine, you need to squeeze them first and get all that juice in there, and then dump the rinds and everything in there. So we're going to go ahead and do that with the rest of these. So here we're just finishing up our lemons and oranges into our brine solution. Just a quick note, this tends to come out very juicy, but it comes out very salty as well if you use too much salt. So just keep that in mind, your salt ratio to when you're brining it. So if you put too much salt in it, it may come out a little saltier. Also, you may want to keep in mind that when you are making gravy from the drippings, it could get a little salty. But it is always very delicious and juicy. So now we have the thyme and the rosemary, and this is very simple. You just want to put in 6 sprigs of thyme, and don't worry about the leftover, because you can use this to stuff the inside of the turkey when you're all done. And then 4 sprigs of rosemary. Now it's very important that you use these fresh or these real herbs and not, the flakes in the can, because that doesn't work. And sometimes they sell these all in one as a poultry blend. You can use those, but I'm not too in favor of that. So all of that's in, and then the rest is adding water, cold water, until you reach the top and the turkey starts to float. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll catch back up with you when we're done. As a side note, here at the G-Jam Maker Report, we have our little helpers here, as you can see. They're scattered all around. They're actually just kind of waiting for a little turkey. They're excited. But we do have our helper, our 2 bulldogs and our little mini dachshund. So take this water and continue to fill it up till it completely covers the turkey. So just a little side note, when you're doing this brine, what I like to do is I'll do it the night before. So right now it's about 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and we're going to cook the turkey probably starting at 1. So it's going to get a good time in the brine. So the Thanksgiving is definitely one of our favorite holidays, and this brine solution definitely makes your turkey very delicious. I have never had anyone complain of a dry turkey. So as you can see, we're almost there. Usually it's going to take about 4 to 5 gallons of water. And so we are almost to the breaking point, to where that turkey will rise and start to float. Then we can seal it up and we'll be ready to go and let it just do its brining magic. Now a little side note about cooking. I normally will cook it normally, with an exception. I will cook it breast down for 1 hour, and then I will go ahead and cook it the rest of the time breast side up according to the instructions. Before I put it in to the oven, we're just going to need a little bit more water. Before I put it into the oven, I will stuff the cavity with some rosemary, some thyme, some bay leaves, some celery, some onions, and some carrots. So I'll put that in the neck cavity and into the stuffing cavity, and then I'll just keep the drumsticks loosely tied together. I will then rub the whole thing down with butter and get it nice and greasy, and then I will go ahead and salt and pepper it and put it in the oven breast side down for that hour, and then when I'm done, flip it over and then cook it to the 165 degrees. That's recommended. So that is good. That covers the whole turkey. So we are ready to go. So what I like to do is cinch this one that's holding the turkey really tight. Get that nice and closed. And you can zip tie it, or you can do what I do and just kind of tie a little knot in this area. So that is good. And then I will just, as a double precaution, just tie this one. And as you can see, it is ready to go. And we'll stick it outside. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. I'm here in my Bill Belichick football sweatshirt, sweaty, getting ready for some Thanksgiving football. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope your turkey turns out as juicy as ours will. And hope to have another great video for me. Another thing is I don't baste. This gets juicy and moist. So I'm not all about that baste. But if you are, there's some great videos about basting on there. YouTube, you can just look them up. So thanks again, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Be quiet. I don't want to hear a mouse wiping its ass.